Man, Raiders Nation, what a ride this season has been. I don't even know where to start tonight, because honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what we just watched. You ever have one of those moments where you sit there staring at the screen, wondering how in the world your team got here? That's me right now. 2 wins, 7 losses. It sounds bad when you say it, but when you've lived it week after week, it feels like a nightmare that just won't end. The Las Vegas Raiders have been around since 1960, and in the first 43 years of the franchise, they only had 3 seasons where they started 2-7. Now, in just the past 4 years, they've managed to do that 3 times. That's not just unlucky. That's a sign of a franchise that's lost its way. And the toughest part about all of this is that it wasn't supposed to be like this. We were sold a vision. We were told this new coaching staff would bring discipline, structure, and leadership. We were told that Pete Carroll, with all his experience, would inject new life into this locker room. But what we've seen so far doesn't feel like the Pete Carroll we expected. It doesn't feel like the Raiders we were promised. It feels like a group still trying to figure out who they are, and the fans are the ones paying the price, not just with money or time, but with passion, with belief, with the emotional roller coaster that comes from loving a team that keeps letting you down. I'm not going to lie to you, this one hurts. It hurts because it feels like the team isn't improving. It hurts because the mistakes keep piling up and nobody seems to be held accountable. It hurts because when you've watched this team as long as some of us have, you know what the Raiders stand for. You know that just win baby isn't just a slogan, it's a legacy. But lately, it's like the message has gotten lost somewhere between the locker room and the field. There's no consistency. There's no urgency. There's no fire. And when your team plays without fire, the fans are the ones left burning. Now, I'll admit, tonight's game broke me a little bit. Watching that offensive line fall apart after Jackson Powers-Johnson went down was painful. You could feel the entire momentum shift the second he limped off. It's wild how one player can make that much of a difference, but when he left, the line completely folded. Dylan Parham went down soon after, and from that moment, the Raiders' offense never recovered. The pocket collapsed faster than a cheap lawn chair, and every drive after that felt doomed before it even started. If Pete Carroll didn't already understand how valuable JPJ is to this offense, this game should have made it crystal clear. And speaking of things that should be clear, let's talk about this special teams disaster. Because, honestly, it's becoming a weekly embarrassment. Every game, there's at least 5 or 6 flags, missed tackles, botched returns. It's endless. And at some point, you've got to look at the coaching. Tom McMahon has somehow managed to keep a job through 6 firings across the league, but I can't wrap my head around how he's still here. Special teams are supposed to be about discipline, fundamentals, execution. And right now, the Raiders are failing in every single one of those areas. Penalties on punts, on kickoffs, on returns. Even Daniel Carlson, who used to be automatic, suddenly looks lost. A.J. Cole might still be doing his part, but it's like he's punting into a void. The coverage is sloppy, the blocking is worse, and the overall awareness looks non-existent. You can't compete in the National Football League when your special teams unit is this bad. And it's not just about one bad play or one missed kick, it's a pattern. It's systemic failure, and that falls on coaching. You can't tell me this group is prepared when they keep making the same mistakes week after week. And if the organization decides to keep this coaching staff intact after a performance like this, then honestly, I don't know what message they're sending to the fans. Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like they're telling us they don't care. You can't sell us on accountability, on trusting the process, and then let guys like McMahon stick around after this kind of mess. If someone doesn't lose their job after this, then it's just business as usual. And that's exactly the problem with this franchise. Let's get real. This team needs a shake-up. And I'm not just talking about players. I'm talking about leadership, mentality, culture. You can't build a winning football team when the people running it don't seem to understand what's broken. There's a disconnect, and it's not subtle. The coaching staff doesn't seem to know this roster the way the fans do. We've been screaming all season for Jackson Powers-Johnson to start at center. It's been obvious to everyone watching that he's better than Alex Kappa. Yet somehow that was still a position battle. What are we doing here? How are we supposed to trust the evaluation process when it's that blind? The players know it. The fans know it. Everyone sees it, except the people who should be making the decisions. I don't care what anyone says. The defense actually showed up tonight. They played tough, they played smart, and for the most part, they did their job. But it's hard to win football games when the offense looks lost and special teams keep shooting you in the foot. You can't expect the defense to bail you out every single week. Eventually, they're going to break too. And when you've got one of the highest paid offensive coordinators in the league and a supposed quarterback of the future, you can't have a game where Brock Bowers, one of your best young talents, gets only 3 targets. 3. That's unacceptable. It's a waste of talent and a sign that the coaching staff either doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't trust their own players. Neither option is good. This isn't about one bad night. This is about a pattern that's been building for years. It's about a team that can't get out of its own way. Every time it feels like the Raiders are about to turn a corner, they trip over the same mistakes: penalties, bad play calling, missed kicks, poor preparation. And the fans are left wondering when it's finally going to change. I've covered this team long enough to see highs and lows, but this stretch right here, this might be the lowest point in years. Not because the record is bad, but because it feels like the spirit of the team is gone. The swagger, the toughness, the belief, it's all missing. And that's what makes it so hard to watch. Because deep down, you know this team could be better. You know the talent is there in flashes. You've seen Max Crosby leave it all on the field. You've seen moments where the offense clicks. You've seen the defense force big stops. But none of it matters when the coaching doesn't match the effort. The players are out there grinding, and the staff is still making decisions that don't make sense. That's how you waste talent. That's how you lose games you should win. That's how a franchise ends up 2-7 again. At this point, I'm not even angry. I'm exhausted. Because being a Raiders fan means you care too much to look away, even when it hurts. It means you keep showing up, hoping next week will finally be the one that feels different. But every time, it's the same story. And if the people running this team can't see that something's broken, then they're not watching the same games we are. This fan base deserves better. The players who still give everything on the field deserve better. And honestly, the legacy of the Raiders deserves better. You know what really gets to me, Raiders Nation? It's not just the losing. It's the silence from the people in charge. The same words, the same excuses every single week. We'll fix it. We'll look at the tape. We have to execute better. How many times have we heard that now? It's like a broken record, and the needle's stuck on disappointment. The thing is, the fans have done their part. We've shown up through every meltdown, every missed kick, every blown lead. But when it feels like the ones leading the team don't even have a pulse on what's going wrong, that's when frustration turns into disbelief. Because this fan base knows football. We know effort. And right now, it feels like the Raiders are giving us neither. Daniel Carlson, man, I hate to even go there, but what happened to him? This used to be one of the most reliable kickers in the league. Now it's like every field goal is an adventure. You can't keep missing key kicks when your team barely gets into scoring range to begin with. And look, I get it, kicking is mental. The wind, the pressure, the crowd, it all matters. But at some point, you've got to perform. If you're in a contract year and you're missing kicks that could win or tie games, you're not earning that next deal. It's that simple. Maybe cutting him sounds extreme, but when you're 2-7, extreme might be exactly what you need. Either make him compete for his spot or move on. Because accountability can't be optional. And that's really the word of the season, isn't it? Accountability. The Raiders have been preaching it since training camp. But where is it? When players mess up, they're benched or called out. But when coaches fail week after week, somehow it's all about staying the course. That double standard is killing this team. You can't build respect in a locker room when guys see that some people get a pass no matter how badly they perform. And that's what this staff doesn't seem to get. Leadership isn't just about drawing plays on a whiteboard. It's about owning your mistakes. It's about setting the tone. And right now, the tone is chaos. You can see it in the body language. The offense looks confused. The defense looks gassed from carrying too much weight. The special teams look lost. And the fans, well, we're just tired. We've seen this movie before. Different coaches, different players, same ending. It's like every few years, the Raiders rebuild the foundation, only to tear it down again before it even sets. And for what? Another 2-win season? Another year of wait till next season. It's exhausting. What really breaks my heart is that the players who do care, who actually play with pride, get caught in the middle of this mess. Max Crosby, for example, that guy bleeds for this team. You can see it in every snap, every hit, every sideline huddle. He's doing everything he can to keep this defense competitive, but one man can't carry a broken structure. He deserves better, and so do the fans. And when I look at this coaching staff, I can't help but wonder, do they even understand the identity of this franchise? Because right now, it feels like they're coaching scared. The play calling is safe, predictable, and full of hesitation. The energy is flat, and the connection between coaches and players feels completely fractured. It's not that the roster is perfect. Far from it. There's not enough depth, not enough experience at key positions, and definitely not enough leadership on the offensive side of the ball. But even with all that, there's enough talent here to be better than 2-7. The difference between good teams and bad ones isn't always talent. It's direction. It's how you respond to adversity. It's how you adjust when things go wrong. And right now, the Raiders don't adjust. They just collapse. And the craziest part? The defense actually showed heart tonight. They made stops, they forced pressure, and for most of the game, they kept the Raiders alive. But when your offense is sputtering and your special teams are giving away field position like candy, it doesn't matter. Football is a team game, and when one unit fails, the whole thing falls apart. The defense can't keep bailing out the rest of the team while the coaches sit on their hands. There's a deeper issue here, a lack of chemistry and communication that's visible even from the stands. The coaches don't seem to know what their players do best. You see guys being played out of position, rotation choices that make no sense, and zero awareness of in-game momentum. How many times have we seen the Raiders get something going, only for a questionable call or substitution to kill the drive? It's almost like the staff is coaching by numbers, not instincts. And that's not how you win in this league. You win with feel, with aggression, with confidence. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Raiders are not untalented. They're undirected. They're inconsistent. They're unprepared. And that all points to one thing: coaching. When you're this deep into a season and the same issues keep showing up, it's not bad luck, it's bad leadership. You can't hide behind excuses forever. You can't keep saying, "We're close," when every Sunday tells a different story. At this point, even the fans are starting to sound like broken records. Every post-game conversation is the same. Fire the coach, fix the line, get a kicker, play the young guys. But when the same problems keep showing up, it tells you the people making decisions aren't listening. It's like the organization is stuck in denial, too afraid to admit what everyone else can see. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been circulating for weeks, and now the shockwave has officially hit. Josh Allen, the star quarterback who has been synonymous with the Buffalo Bills' recent resurgence, is packing his bags for Las Vegas. Sources close to the situation suggest that Allen has agreed to terms with the Raiders, leaving Bills fans in disbelief and sending ripples across the NFL landscape. The move, which had been the subject of endless speculation, reportedly comes after tense negotiations and a desire from Allen to chase new opportunities. While the Bills had long been considered his home, insiders hint that the Raiders' aggressive offer, combined with a vision of building a powerhouse offense around him, proved irresistible. It's a bold move, but Josh wants to win now, one unnamed source told us. Raiders faithful are buzzing with anticipation, envisioning a team that could transform overnight. Josh Allen's cannon arm, mobility, and leadership are seen as the missing piece for Las Vegas to finally make a deep playoff run. Social media is already ablaze with mock lineups, jersey sales skyrocketing, and debates over who will finally catch Allen's passes in the desert. Analysts are predicting a seismic shift in the AFC, with the Bills left to regroup and reconsider their strategy after losing one of the league's premier talents. Meanwhile, Buffalo is reportedly exploring several quarterback options, but the timing leaves little room for a quick fix. Rumors hint at potential trades, draft moves, or even daring free agent signings as the Bills scramble to fill the void. Inside sources claim that the locker room is stunned, with teammates publicly supportive but privately grappling with the reality of losing their leader. Even as official statements trickle out, the rumor mill refuses to quiet. Questions abound. Can Allen replicate his Buffalo magic in the desert heat? Will the Raiders' supporting cast rise to meet the challenge? Or will the pressure prove too much? And most tantalizing of all, how will this move reshape the balance of power in the AFC? One thing is certain. The NFL will be watching closely as Josh Allen steps onto a new stage, and the whispers from the rumor mill are only getting louder. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.